let's move away from football and spend the rest of our time to talk basketball. But before I come to basketball, my guys are itching, Wale and Femi, to delve into basketball. Let's talk a little bit of tennis. Godwin Kienka has been in the forefront of developing tennis from the grassroots. He's been speaking about the need for younger players, junior players to stay consistent, focus, and that will get them to the top. So let's listen to Godwin Kienka, and then we'll be back with a lot of basketball on Sports Tonight. Join us again.
We've dominated the West and Central African region in the juniors, but we only started to do that 3 years ago. And the circuit was established about 11 years, 12 years ago. And it took almost 6 years to get to this point. It might take another 3 years for us to break into to dominate at the African level, at the junior level. Now, the way it works is this: once you start the foundation, you have a structure and you have a system, it flows. Tennis, it might take 15 years. We're looking now at having players at the senior level, at the ATP ranking. We just started to get players again in the ATP ranking 2 years ago after we set up the NCC Championship League and all that. So we're getting there. Like I told people, it will take another 5 years for us to get players who can get into the top 200. It's very tedious. And the kind of tedious work that is done here with the little children, heading them all over the place, encouraging them, will take another 5 years for us to get the kind of players. But the good news is that we can see at every age group at least 8 players that have the potential to be top 200 in the world at the senior level.
All right, so that's Godwin Kienka. You respect his opinion. That's someone who's giving so much to tennis and is still giving. And we hope that all his efforts will produce the right kind of results for tennis in Nigeria. Femi, it's time for us to switch to you. What's going on? What grassroots basketball? Youth Alive. Let's start with Youth Alive.
Yes, since we are talking about youth development.
Let's start from that.
Youth Alive. It's in week 7 now, and a lot of games, about 28 games, every weekend, across the ages.
It's even difficult to keep track of all
I'm
those
telling
games.
you, it's a big task. When you're looking at under 13s, under 16s, under 19s, across both male and female, not just even one sex. 2 centers, Ilukpeju basketball court, and Row Park in Yaba. Saturdays from, I think, 1:30 in the afternoon. Sundays from 2:30. A lot of all these academies across, even as far as Ota. Where we have Warlord Academy, different schools, Topfield, Ajegunle, also bringing in, some of their pupils just to be a part of this and grow, in the game. So it's growing every day. More players are being discovered, are being known. And one of these days, perhaps we try and bring in some of those stars, to just come and share some of the experiences they've had, playing basketball. I saw one of the children last week. He's barely 3 months playing basketball, and he's improved so much just because there's competition. And that's what we all crave for. That's what we all ask for. The more you play, the better you become. And it's good to see that, these kids are developing by the numbers and they are growing. And it's also engagement. Weekends, rather than stay at home and be idle, getting involved in all kinds of things. It's an opportunity to be part of sports. It's from a social perspective, not only even, from a health ground. And by the way, too, permit me to use the word, the virus of the youth development in basketball is also spreading, to Oyo State, Ibadan to be precise, with the Hoops Dreams initiative also, and that would be officially launching this weekend out there at the Lekon Salami Stadium this weekend. So Ibadan too is gradually plugging in. We hear they'll be starting they've started the youth program, but they'll be starting a competitive program this time around for youths. And the age bracket has not been categorically stated, but I know, of course, it will be below 18 and under. And it's just more or less like a copy of the Youth Alive program. And I like the fact that people are beginning to think, we are copying good things and we are trying to spread the tentacles, because these talents are everywhere. That's what everybody who is involved in talent development tells you. It's just about getting the program where they are. You know, you give them a platform, then you discover them. You know, I was reading up on the story of the young man, Joe Embiid, who seems to be blowing up the NBA these days. The young Cameroonian, as at 2012, was still back in Cameroon. And he was discovered by an NBA player, Lukumba Amute, who plays for the Los Angeles Clippers, just one of his camps. Like all our stars, Olumide comes. He saw this boy, tall, he had a big frame. And he's like, this boy, I think he can play. He was playing other sports, football, you know, and volleyball. And it was like, you have the structure to play basketball. Come in. And after about a year of training, he was able to get him a scholarship in the US. He was drafted in number 4. 2 years, he was out. He couldn't play active basketball. And he's playing his first season. And he's been the starlight of the Philadelphia 76ers. And in fact, he's for me, the face of Africans in the NBA as we speak. Although you might want to say, okay, Adetokounmpo, you know, is in there. But it goes to show that, you know, giving a platform, you know, to young kids, you know, can just build the next star. We are talking of discovering the next Hakim. Who says going to Ibadan or going to Meduguri or going to Yola or Jos might not give us that.
All right. I mean, let's pause now. Let's take a break. When we return, there's still a lot of basketball to talk about. First Bank getting ready and all of that. And okay, let's quickly talk about First Bank, Femi, before we go on that break. What's going on with First Bank? They're planning that this season there will be a successful defense.
Yes.
Of the title they won.
That's what you expect from champions, and it's good to see that they are not resting on their hours. You know, they're recruiting new players. Coach Peter says, look, yes, we've won. But we are not satisfied. We want to go a step further. They had a very successful campaign last season.
Okay,
you know,
all your thoughts now. We'll continue with that, but we need to go for that break now. We'll come back. There's still plenty more on Sports Tonight.